biggest deal of the week is obviously Matisse. He's going viral all over the internet. After that draw, he wanted someone out, and a couple of days later, he got his wish. Happy New Year.
No, you know damn well that wasn't my wish. Yeah, so don't lie. Do you know what I'm saying? You know
you
damn
started
well.
your match reaction like this.
Yeah, I was pointing to the door, and I was pointing to the door, and the biggest D, the biggest D was meant to be the directors. Do you know what I'm saying? That was the D.
Matisse, you know
what I'm saying? That was the D. I wanted them out. I want them out. They're not going anywhere. And the managers left his post. They say parted ways, but it's more they've sacked him because they couldn't take him speaking out of turn any longer. And it's a disgrace, bro. It's a disgrace. Do you know what I'm saying? These directors hired him. These directors recruit for him. They should be taking 100% responsibility for the recruitment. I've seen people try to blur the lines and say, oh, Maresca wanted Delap, Maresca wanted Gittins. It's not a coincidence that the managers that they hire are managers that have worked with players that they recruit. But that does not mean that the manager is now responsible for the recruitment. It's very clear when he came into this job, he's a head coach. And the directors, there's like 6 or 7, 8 of them. They're going to be 100% responsible for the recruitment. You're not going to hire Paul Winstanley, Lawrence Stewart, Joe Shields, Jewel, and all these other brothers, and then be like, oh no, but the manager's going to take responsibility for the recruitment. So that wasn't going to happen. They're not taking any accountability, any responsibility for the recruitment. They're not taking any accountability, responsibility for the work, the poor misuse of money that they've spent. The fact that there's still no front of shirt sponsor halfway through the season. Every other team in this football pyramid in this country has got a front of shirt sponsor. We still don't have any. But yet the ticket prices are high. But yet you ain't got the full maximum amount of revenue you should be getting in from a business perspective off the pitch, let alone on the pitch. And this is a manager that's brought them their first trophy and their first taste of Champions League football in their Club World Cup, and they've decided to bash him in briefings when he's left. And every single time that someone does leave this club, they've always got a story. They've always got new reports and new articles to drop on how bad they were and interest in Man City and Juventus, but no accountability. And then they even briefed that they were interested in De Zerbi, or they were talking to De Zerbi in the summer. So that's just how stupid they are. They don't even remember what the narrative is they're trying to spin. They're trying to say that he's a traitor, or he's disloyal. And then they've gone and briefed that they were disloyal first. And they were speaking to other managers when he was winning the Club World Cup. So yeah, this one here was meant to be your head coach, your project manager, your guy that you're going to stick with long term to help develop and oversee this project, because you can't have young players and a long-term vision without a stability managerial standpoint. You can't literally be Roman Abramovich with the managers, but then only sign young players who need time and development and years to grow and all this, and then still have expectations to win. It just doesn't all add up at all. So that's for me. Yesterday, when he was let go or sacked, that's the day the project died. I wasn't really impressed with the recruitment over the summer as it was. I wanted directors sacked 2 years ago after Poch. I firmly believe the directors should always be sacked along with the manager, the last 2 appointments. But now it's the ownership, because they haven't sacked the directors. So I'm assuming that they're complicit. They're 100% agreeing with all the money that they've washed down the drain. And so therefore now they are also under fire, and rightly so. So I don't know, man. I think we're cooked, I'll be honest. There's a big cap and a big ceiling to what we're trying to do. And we're not really going to be going any further until people start rolling, to be honest. It's peak.
So to confirm, you're not going to be finishing second this season then?
What do you think, Sherlock?
I just wanted you to say it.
What do you think? You're a bright man. You got a big job. What the fuck do you think?
Oh, so now
that's brilliant stuff. Straight in.
I can't lie, Matisse. From the outside looking in, it looks like a mess. Like what you said before, the shirt sponsor thing is a weird thing for me. They're basically a hedge fund, aren't they? Who own the club? It's all about making money, and they've got £100 million potential sponsorship deal that's just not there. That was weird. They've gone down this Brighton sort of route, which You know, I know certain people admired Brighton's route of buying these players in and younger players and maybe getting them sold and, you know, not losing the value, etc. But you're in danger of becoming basically Brighton. And that's all right for Brighton. They're happy with their model. They get the odd win here and there. They make a lot of money out of it. And the finances look great. But on the pitch, they don't do an awful lot. And Chelsea can't, they're not that team. They can't be like that. You know what I mean? So this ownership model that they've done, they give a 5-year contract to Potter, I believe. They give a 5-year contract to Maresca, I believe. I mean, it's just not working. So I think this is crucial times for Chelsea and the fans now to see which direction the club go, because I'm not being funny. The Strasbourg manager's not the answer. I think we'd all probably like it to happen just for a laugh. But, you know, if that's your club, no disrespect, he can't jump out of Strasbourg and straight into Chelsea job, because the fans ain't going to have it. You know what I mean? So whoever's reading the room over there needs to realise that ain't going to work. And the thing is with Maresca, you've seen the proofs in the pudding with giving people time, like the Arsenal model. They gave Arteta time. They went through some ups and downs and bad patches where the fans wasn't happy and wanted him out, but they stuck to the guns and got through the other side, and it looks good over there. This is just going to keep happening because the board and the fans are, I think, are totally disconnected. Your expectations of Chelsea, what you've seen growing up, etc., certain level of players, elite football, recruitment, wanting winners. Their model in their mind is different. They're not. I don't think there's a lot of football people involved in it. I think there's a lot of poor business decisions being made as well, not even good ones. You look at the off the pitch as well. We've touched on the sponsor. Look at the fact of selling the hotels and selling the women's team and all that. It's not right. It's not right for Chelsea. You know, Matisse, he probably sits there and think, well, fuck it, we've got to do it. But you haven't got to do it because, you know, it's not the way you've done it. So I don't know what's going on over there. I feel like there's going to be some tough times ahead. I just hope they don't get on this merry-go-round of managers where it's going to be 3 or 4 managers in the next 4 or 5 years because they just can't get it settled. And like I said on the last show about Cole Palmer, and he wasn't happy about it, I'm telling you now, the place is a mess. Now, if I'm Cole Palmer's agent, I'm not saying to go Man United, but I'm just saying let's look at where this is going, because at the end of the season, there might be plenty of suitors. I'm not, you know, Cole Palmer don't have to sit there. There's nothing going on there at the minute. What is making Cole Palmer think, you know what, I'm into this project here. This is going somewhere. Let's stay here. He's probably looking at it thinking, this is not what I signed up for. This looks like a shit show. And I'm not having Penfold rocking up, telling me what to do on the pitch, because no one's going to respect him. You know what I mean? They're not going to respect him. So, yeah, I think there's tough times coming, Matisse. I think there is. So, batten down the hatches and make your alliance with Saeed, because I think you two are going to be a little bit closer soon.
I think they purposefully want to sack managers. You said you don't want to see a revolving door of managers. I'm starting to think they purposefully want to initiate friction with managers so they can actually fall out with them, so they can actually restart this whole thing again. Because every time you get a new manager, you get a whole long list of excuses as to why they can't win immediately, because they have to, the system has to be learned now. The experience isn't there. He hasn't been in the Premier League before. You have to give him time. That's what they want. They want a new excuse. This is literally a supply teacher that's just being put in front of us every single time now. And the curriculum's there. Don't go outside of it. Even if the curriculum is shit, even if the curriculum's not up to standard. The manager even said Chelsea as a football club deserve better. He also said he was contracted here till 2029 and he wasn't going anywhere. But then people want to believe in briefings, oh, he was talking behind our back, he was going to go Man City. It's a smear campaign. And it's a smear campaign that repeats itself constantly every single time someone leaves. How can you fall out with everyone that you hire and you're not the problem? It doesn't make any sense. But this is by design for me to keep falling out with these people, to keep reappointing, to keep starting again. And then by starting again, you're not actually making any progress. You're just going round and round in circles. This guy that they're appointing, they're going to brief and say, oh, yeah, we see eye to eye. He's worked with the directors before. He's a former Brighton player. How ironic is that? You know, and then in a few years' time or 18 months' time, the smear campaign on this Liam is going to be incredible. Just watch. It's gonna be
Against who?
biblical. It's gonna be. They're gonna say, "Oh, he tried to write a book whilst after we won the Club World Cup. Tried to make it all about himself. He wanted to film a Netflix documentary without our permission."
18 months time.
Yeah, bro.
You think he's gonna last 18 months?
6 months.
Have you seen your fixtures?
Bro.
Your fixtures. This is what I'm saying. Your fixtures.
I'm not looking at the fixtures. The fixtures are irrelevant to me, man. It's bigger than the fixtures.
Matisse,
They're relevant.
Bigger than the fixtures.
They're absolutely relevant. They're relevant because
I'm telling you, on the mob this Sunday, the way
we got work to do this Sunday, Matisse.
I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered.
Genuinely,
I'm not bothered. You see Luke Littler? I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered.
Bring that army vest out on Sunday, bro. We're going to
Man
war,
said he's
bro.
not bothered. Okay, cool. When Man City slap through in your head, let's see.
Bro,
let's
I
see if
expect.
you're not
I'm gonna
bothered.
predict Man City to slap us on this thing. I'm telling
Let's
you
see
now.
if you're
I'm
not
expecting.
bothered.
Nah.
I'm not
Manage your
bothered.
bounce,
Well,
man.
Matisse, I wanted to ask you, yeah, like, obviously, and I agree with what you're saying about the smear campaigns and falling out with managers, etc., every single time. Like, recognize the problem if that's the problem. You need one of these guys. Graham Potter was never going to come out and speak because that's the way his character personality is. But it seems like Maresca is a very opinionated, forceful, front-forward, vociferous type of guy. Yeah,
He's Italian.
almost confrontational. Now he needs to come out and say or give the reasons why this fallout. Because only a week ago, do you remember, guys? He said that when he was linked with the City stuff, and he was like, "It's all rumors.
Yeah.
I'm here next season. I've got 8 whatever contract, 5-year contract, and this is all bullshit." Basically, how can things escalate to a level where he's gone in a week or 10 days or wherever it was? And also, what is the job description of a Chelsea coach, Chelsea manager? Because if he signed up for this, like Potter, like himself, like, we give you the players, you just coach, and we tell you who to pick, when to pick, medical team tells you who to play, who not to play, and we're coming in at halftime or at the end of match briefings to see what the mood of the team is and what players are talking about. If he signed up for that, what's he complaining about? And if he hasn't signed up to that, that's a mad problem. Like Steve says, in that case, that's a mad problem for any incoming coach as well. If that's how your hierarchy run the ship there.
So just to break that down, right? There'll be some people that will try to defend the ownership by saying the manager knew what he signed up for, so it can't be. It has to. He's at fault. He's at blame. What sportsman at any level signs up for being capped in terms of achievements? This is sport. That's what people fail to remember. This is sport. This is not, the trade market. This is not Wolf of Wall Street. This is sport. In sport, the whole point of sport is to achieve greatness at the top level. That's what everybody involved should be aiming for. So regardless of what he signed on the dotted line when he came in, he's a human being and a sports. He's in sports, so he wants to win. So he may come in from Leicester, really appreciative of the opportunity. Thank you so much for having me. Taking any grain of rice under the door mentality. But as you go on in your job, you're going to gain confidence from winning a couple of trophies, how big they are, whatever. But you're going to gain a bit of confidence. You're going to gain a little bit of, status. And then you're going to think, I do want to, let's kick on. Why would you not want to kick on? What's the point of not trying to kick on? And the thing is that it's a double-edged sword. If you do not try to kick on in this job, you will end up the enemy. It's as simple as that. So people can say, he should just know his place. There is no place for anyone who doesn't want to win Premier Leagues or Champions League at Chelsea, because the fans will turn against you at some point. There was already fans turning against the manager. So what do you want him to do? Sit there, be a good little boy and say, actually, nah, I'm quite happy with top 4 every year and I'll take the odd cup. And I'll get slandered by the fan base whilst the directors behind me take no accountability, no responsibility. And I'll just have my reputation smeared in public. Why would you do that? So of course you have to leave. Either the club continue to go up in an upward trajectory or you leave. Simple.
That's why I agree why he left. He didn't want to get
left.
paint with the same brush as the Blue Co. And rightly so, man. I've got a lot of respect for Maresca, man, leaving the way he's done. And people can say, yeah, he's got 1 win in 9 or something like that, and he was struggling. Yeah.
Oh, let me ask you, man, something. Yeah, if we find out in the WhatsApp group tomorrow that let's say one of us is talking to another podcast you know, about the possibility of joining up with that podcast if a vacancy becomes available in the next 6 months. How are you going to look at that guy?
So to
No,
combat,
yeah, of course,
to combat that, what if that person
Yeah,
found out
swanky.
you were talking in the summer to another person to replace them on that podcast? Because that's what we're
Who?
dealing with here.
Who did you speak to?
Chelsea reported and briefed that they were speaking to De Zerbi last summer.
Yeah, that's
I don't know
true.
if that was a mistake, but it makes them look incredibly stupid.
What, 2025?
Yeah, when we won the Club World Cup, they
Yeah, I
said
remember that.
we were speaking to De Zerbi. That's what they said. So that's
Yeah.
the equivalent of you trying to replace someone before they've left and then saying, why did you like make an avenue for yourself to leave? Why did you prepare for your exit?
That's fair. No, that's fair.
Yeah, Maresca's not an idiot. He
Yeah.
can see what's going on. He's there on a day in, day out basis. He can see the wheels turning, the cogs turning. No one outside of the club can. All they can do is read the reports from Ornstein and make their own conclusions. He is working with them week in, week out. He is seeing their mannerisms. He is seeing their facial expressions when they're coming into the dressing room and trying to stamp their authority after games and micromanaging. Nobody is in any position to try and tell Maresca how he should navigate through this ownership that have a track record of falling out of managers consistently. You can't make the manager the problem when you have consistently fallen out with other managers and you have failed to agree terms with elite level managers like Enrique and Nagelsmann. So there is only one person at fault here, and it's the people that are consistently they're here every single year. You know, you can't say the manager. For me, it doesn't make any sense.
But also,
I think it's just
the rest
they've
of
just
Man
created.
City.
Go on.
Man City, though, it's probably a dream. So if Chelsea saw that as disrespect, like they could just twist it and be like, you know what, that just shows you our manager's highly rated, and maybe that's a dream for Maresca, but you are under you're under contract, mate. So that's very, very poor from them. If they're doing all of this tick for tack and they're doing this, or he spoke to City and whatnot. Yeah, but at the same time, he's like, he's not seeing that the club is pushing to a direction that is serious. Look what they bought in the summer: Gittins, Garnacho. That ain't Chelsea level. And we did warn a lot of Chelsea fans that wasn't their level. But now
this is what I struggle with, though, Saeed.
Go on.
I'm sorry, but a 10-15 year Russian oligarch era doesn't define Chelsea Football Club. And
I agree.
Chelsea are defined by 100 years plus of it. And I know this is the most recent history.
Yeah, but this is modern history, though, isn't it?
But yeah, modern history. But even Matisse is still tainted by it because he just said that the meaning of sport is to achieve greatness. Long gone are those days. The Roman Abramovich era spoiled you like the Sheikh Mansour era is spoiling Steve, right? That's a rarity in football. In football, there's probably 6 to 8 clubs that really want to achieve greatness across Europe. 6 to 8 clubs max, probably. So I think football's more a business now to these men, and we had to find out the hard way. Kroenkes have been in charge, but finally now I could probably include ourselves.
You can say that for all the clubs that spend money. Then PSG, all of these clubs.
PSG want to achieve greatness. Real Madrid want to achieve greatness. Barcelona want to achieve greatness. Man City want to achieve greatness. Liverpool want to achieve greatness.
So what are you saying then? What are they defined by then? Are you saying they're defined by their money?
No. Football's got like that whole expectation that sports about greatness. Not to them, not to these men, not to our owners, right? The Roman and Sheikh Mansour owners are a rarity. The PSG owners, it's rare. It's the anomaly of the situation. Like most owners are interested in the business side. What's confusing is what Steve said and what Matisse said. You got 100 million lying on a shirt sponsor that you don't want. So what is going on? Like, what is they're getting something out of it on the business side, right? It's not making sense any other place, but to them it must be making sense somewhere.
One thing I've never understood with this winning and business thing is the teams that make the most money in world football are the teams that win. If you're literally doing this to be the best business possible, you need to win. You need to win. It's either you're winning loads of trophies or you've got crazy credit in the bank because you've got like a juggernaut's worth of trophies, like Barcelona, for example. Unless you're a Barcelona or Real Madrid where you are literally etched in football history, the very best teams, the most profitable teams in the world are either the teams who are winning or who are close to winning. because that's what's going to drive popularity. So you
In fact,
buying
still,
a
Man
club-
United still make money
but
without
Tottenham,
winning.
bro,
but Man United are also in that example of what Barcelona and Real Madrid are on the world. Man
Yeah,
United are that in England. Same for Liverpool.
Yeah,
These are the
yeah.
teams, they're going to make money regardless because their thing is etched.
Yeah.
Like very, very hard to wash that away. But what I'm saying with Clear Lake is, if your premise was to make as much money as possible, you need to do that by trying to make your team the best it can be. Because if you make the team the best it can be and it wins trophies, you will make more money. Your fan base will increase. You'll get more money from your competitions. You'll be in higher competitions. That you're going to make more money. That's how Chelsea made a lot of their money, and that's how Chelsea have made a lot of their name over the last 20 years.